Hello, YouTube watcher, MegaTrip aficionado. Welcome to another episode of Mini Trip on MegaTrip. So far in this Mini Trip series, I've been showing you around the island of Cyprus. I've mainly been showing you, I guess, kind of less trodden paths on the west and the northwest coast or western lowlands or western foothills of the Troodos Mountains, all the way down to the coast. But if you come out to this bit of Cyprus, you'll probably fly into Pafos Airport. Pafos is a slightly different place. The main industry in Pafos these days is very much tourism. So it's slightly more built up, and it's actually where lots of tourists will come on their holidays. And you know what? It's a great place. I'm not doing it down. I like the less trodden areas myself, but Pafos, I've got a real soft spot for. I think I mentioned that Cyprus is actually my family home, or it feels like my family home. We've been coming here for the best part of 30 years, had a house here for almost 30 years. And I guess since that time, Pafos has changed massively. It's been developed, but in a really, really nice way. Like I said, it's somewhere I've got a real soft spot for. So today we're going to spend some time looking around Pafos and looking at what you could expect if you came here on your own, with friends, or with family. But there's certainly lots to see. So, anyway, join me for this episode of Mini Trip on MegaTrip from Pafos. Hello, my YouTube watching friend. It's me, Dom, your host here on MegaTrip, and I've got a bit of a confession to make on this one. It was a very hot day, I was very tired, I was a little bit hungover if I'm honest. So there's a few errors in here that I've tried to correct as we go along, but please do bear with me. I promise it's worth it to have a little look at Kato Pafos and all that it could offer you or your friends or anyone like you if you wanted to visit. So please bear with me and join me on this special mini trip in Kato Pafos here on MegaTrip. Let's go have a look at the rest of the video. In this particular video, I'm going to stick in Kato Pafos, the old bit of Pafos closer to the airport. And I'm going to show, I guess, what you can expect if you came for something like a long weekend, starting with the hotel. So this is where we're staying, the Leptos Basilica Holiday Resort. Let's go and see what I think about €53 a night gets you down in the main area of Pafos. Okay, Mega Trippers, so as I said, a few things went wrong on this video, and this is the first of them. It's where the audio recording decided not to work. But let's not worry too much. Let's go inside the hotel room and have a quick look at what €53 gets you down in Kato Pafos. So just let myself in, struggling with the old electricity to get that going. But you'll see as you go into the room, you get a nice good sized room. This is actually a room for two people. I just got it for myself because I was there on my own. Some nice facilities, a little kitchenette, microwave, sink, and of course a nice, pretty clean little bathroom with a shower. Not too bad at all, I don't think, particularly considering the area this is in. As you go into the room, you can see there's two single beds, nicely pushed together, so you can treat that as a double if you want. A little sitting area, chest of drawers, whatever you might need. Again, I think really excellent value for right in the middle of Kato Pafos. And I didn't actually expect this. There's also a nice little balcony, seating area with a beautiful view over the ruins that you'll see kind of everywhere mixed in with the modern city down in Kato Pafos. So not too bad. I think we might have just found ourselves a little gem here at Basilica Gardens Resort in Kato Pafos. Not only did it have a nice clean room with lots of facilities, a lovely little pool area if you don't want to swim in the sea, but it's also right opposite a nice little supermarket, Papantuniu. So if you're on a little bit of a budget and you want to save some money, you grab your beers, grab yourself something to drink, maybe some snacks for the room, some food to cook your own meals. But I'm actually going to nip in now, grab myself a bottle of water before I show you around some of my top things to do here in Kato Pafos, in Old Pafos. Pafos is an ancient city with a mix of cultures. And here you can see one of the oldest natural features of the city of Pafos. This prayer tree that's at a shrine, adopting other cultures that have come to these shores since the time of the Romans, the Byzantines, the Ottomans, and many more since. People will come to this tree, tie a cloth, to tie a handkerchief, and say a prayer for a loved one. Juxtaposed against the modern city of Pafos that we see as we walk down to the harbour. Like many coastal towns in the Med, kind of the centre of civilization, the centre of buzziness, the centre where everyone hangs out is down by the harbour, down by the boats. So, as one of my top things to do here in Pafos is to go down, have a walk by the harbour, check out all the beautiful, weird, wonderful boats down by the harbour. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Harbours aren't just about boats though. Really, down in Kato Pafos, the harbour, the coastline is very much the centre of life. It's buzzy, it's where the restaurants are, it's where the bars are. One of my top things to do in Pafos is just come down to the harbour and promenade along the harbour wall. Take a walk down this beautiful palm tree lined route down across the bay all the way to the hotels on the other side. And if you feel like it, you could even go down and try some parasailing on one of the speedboats off the public beach down at the far end of the harbour wall here in Kato Pafos. So while I'm walking around on this beautiful, hot, sunny day here in Pafos, I thought it's probably worth me sharing with you a few facts, or I guess a bit of what you should expect here, what's good, why should you come to Pafos. And look, no one's sponsoring me to say this, but it's a city I love in a country I love. Some of the nice things about it are it's very family friendly. The Cypriots are a family oriented people. And what that means is there's plenty for everyone to do. So kids are looked after, they're made happy. That means the adults can get on with their day, they're happy, and everyone can have a lovely time. Also, perhaps what's quite interesting is it's incredibly accessible. And by which I mean wheelchair accessible specifically. The west of the island, Pafos and Polis, the local municipality here have really focused on wheelchair accessibility or mobility scooter accessibility. And if you have mobility issues, it's very easy to hire a mobility scooter at a very fair rate, and you can get pretty much everywhere. Yes, there are some things like the old castle, the old fort, where you can't climb up the stairs, but generally getting around is a breeze. It really is the way that the kind of revolutionised tourist industry here has been designed. And finally, I guess, is safety and security. Like I said, Cyprus is pretty much my family home. Been coming here for, well, pretty much since I can remember, if I'm honest. It is incredibly safe. Virtually no crime. You can leave things on the beach, you can leave things in your hotel room. I know in the 30 years that I've been coming here, had no issues with crime whatsoever. Haven't seen any, haven't reported any, haven't experienced any. So I guess just another reason to jump on a plane from London, if you're there, from say Gatwick Airport, and you can be here in 4.5 hours flying straight into Pafos Airport. So why not give it a go? Joe Biden once described Cyprus as the convergence of civilization, and he wasn't wrong. So next we're going to go look at a little bit of culture, the famous Pafos Castle. You can see it here on the edge of the harbour, originally on the site of a Byzantine castle. I'll give you a bit more information as we get closer. So here it is, the old Pafos Castle, sat on the edge of Pafos Harbour. As Joe Biden said, it's the crossroads of civilization. So this castle was originally built by the Byzantines. It was then destroyed by an earthquake in the 13th century and rebuilt by the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century. So now we're here, let's go in and have a little look around. So we're in the castle now. I guess we'll start by going up. We're climbing up through this old stone building and up a wooden stairway. You can imagine if you were attacking this castle and you somehow got in, climbing up these stairs against a defending force would be almost impossible. If you climb up to this top of these walls now, we can start to get a view of the top of the castle itself and out over the Mediterranean Sea. As I catch my breath a little bit, you can start to see why this place was so important. Sitting here on the edge of this major seaport, you can imagine this intimidating fortress being a mark of defence and ensuring the important trade in the Mediterranean between what is now Turkey, Greece, Lebanon, Egypt, and the other civilizations, all of which were nestled around the eastern Mediterranean throughout the last 2 centuries. If you think about it, for perhaps 1,000 years, this was very much the centre of Western civilization. Now, we get to enjoy it as tourists and look out across the beautiful views. So I found myself a little spot in the shade, really to give you a little bit of practical information. Cyprus is part of the EU, and as such, receives some really good funding for historical sites like this. But to get into the castle itself, you do have to pay a little fee. And that goes towards the upkeep and the staffing. And I think it's very reasonable. I actually just wanted to show you the ticket. So you can see the fee for the ticket itself was only €2.50. But on the ticket, you can see a picture showing a figurine from the Neolithic settlement of a place I won't try and pronounce. But that's also here in Cyprus, here in Pafos. So it's not just the Byzantines, the Romans, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the Brits, many others. But even from Neolithic times, this very much was the cradle of Western civilization. And a lot of that is due to trading, due to seafaring. That means one of the great things that you can see quite nicely from the top of Pafos Castle is a beautiful lighthouse still in operation today, protecting those seafaring routes as it would have done for many, many years. Right, enough of castles, enough of forts, enough of harbours and boats for now. It's time to get Roman. So like I said, it's time to get Roman as we look at the Nea Pafos archaeological site, a World Heritage Site. I'm going to go and have a little look round inside. I think what's really interesting before you go in here is a map of the site. You can see it's spread out across the peninsula. You can see here a list of what there is. And you can see the ruins here from the Roman period, the Hellenistic, late Roman periods, but also Byzantine, Frankish, Ottoman and others. So a wealth of history here in Pafos. Let's check it out. So the purpose of this video is not to give you a comprehensive look around the remains, the ruins, this archaeological site, but more, like I said at the start of the video, to give you an idea of what you could do here in Pafos if you had a few days. So I'm not going to show you around everything, but maybe just take the next few minutes to have a look at the kind of thing you can see here if you visit this archaeological site in Pafos, Cyprus. Well, MegaTrippers, that's your lot for the archaeological site here in Pafos, Cyprus. Roman, Hellenic, Byzantine. Get down here, see it for yourself. Enjoy one of the most special archaeological sites of its kind here in Western Cyprus. But now it's time to go and check out my final top thing to do here in Pafos. Come with me, MegaTrippers. Let's go get a beer. For anyone who likes to travel, I think a big part of it is eating and drinking, and it gets you into the culture, makes you understand the locals and brings something different to every destination you go to. I've not really talked much about Cypriot food and drink. It really is kind of classic Mediterranean, simple food done well. Grilled meat, grilled fish, salad, vegetables, potatoes cooked in olive oil, all that healthy, delicious Mediterranean fare you can expect. That's the food side of things. I talked a little bit about wine in another video. Great local wine here, very affordable. A good option to go and see the wineries yourself and have a great day out. But when it comes to beer, and I have to admit I'm a beer guy, there's two Cypriot beers. One is Leon, and one is Kio. You tend to be either a Leon guy or a Kio guy. And I have to say, I'm a Kio guy. My dad was a Kio guy, my brother's a Kio guy, so I'm a Kio guy. It's absolutely baking out here right now. So I'm going to stop in at a little cafe and get myself a cheeky little Kio.
One second, my dear, for the straw because
Cheers. Now, I couldn't talk about a trip to Pafos and the Pafos harbour area without suggesting you come to Pafos Beach, the municipal beach here down at Pafos. Now, maybe saying it's a beach in the kind of traditional sandy terms is going a little bit too far, but it's a beautiful swimming area with changing rooms, lots of platforms and rocks and ladders that you can climb on, jump off and cool down in the hot summer weather, or in this case in the hot Easter weather. It's not even May yet and it will be reaching almost 30 degrees today. It's a perfect place to chill down, cool off, enjoy the waters of the Mediterranean. Okay, MegaTrip watcher, thank you so much for joining me on this very special Pafos mini trip on MegaTrip. I'm now suitably full of Kio, as I'm sure you can probably tell by my slightly jaunty walk. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Do you think I should have gone for Leon rather than Kio? Have you been to Cyprus and you think there's something I've missed here on the west or northwest coast? If there is, leave me a note in the comments, let me know. I'm also looking for a few more mini trips before I head off on my mega trip. That'll be happening in about 6 weeks, so make sure you subscribe for that. And please do, if you liked what you saw here today, make sure you like this video. And like I said, please subscribe. 64% of you, can you believe that? 64% of you are watching my videos, but you're not actually subscribed. So go ahead, click that subscribe bell, make sure you get more updates from MegaTrip. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on MegaTrip.